Simpson from Ether Automation, and in this video, we're going to continue on with our ERP series for manufacturers of setting up your custom ERP inside Zoho Creator. Now, specifically in this video, we're going to be setting up some functions that are going to allow someone to see what's ready to ship and click one button to ship them. And this will be done on a sales order level or even a sales order line level. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let me share my screen. Okay, so I'm inside Zoho Creator. And in an earlier video, we made this ready to ship report. This report is going to be used to help a manager know which orders can be shipped or which line items can be shipped. So in order to use this report, we're going to want some buttons on them to ship a certain number of items at the door, but also we are going to want a similar view for the sales orders, right? I've got a bunch of sales orders right here, but only this one's ready to ship. So we're going to make another report for sales orders only to ship them. So we'll start out with that new report. I'm going to click this plus, go report. It's going to be a list based on the sales orders. There we go. So now we have the sales orders that are ready to ship. Let's add the filtering and let's check it out. Great. So these are the sales orders that are ready to ship. These are the line items that are ready to ship. And so now we want to have a button that will allow us to select a number of these and put them into a shipment or package and shipments so that it can be sent out. And the same function is going to be used over here just for each line item in the sales order. So let's start by making a function. Okay, so I've got my function here. What do we want to do with this? Well, we want to do a couple things. First, we want to get the amount that's ready to ship. We don't want to overship or undership. We just want to ship what's available to ship right now. Next thing we want to do is we want to check to make sure we're not overshipping. In case there was some product that was already shipped for the sales order, we want to make sure we're not overshipping. So we're going to check to make sure we're not overshipping by grabbing shipments that have already been created for this line item and then reducing the quantity that we're shipping this time by that one. Next thing we want to do is search for draft shipments. Then if we find one, we want to add this line item to that shipment. And if it's not found, we want to create a new shipment. And then finally, we want to update that sales order and sales order line item with the shipment ID. This is going to be used iteratively. So we're going to run this function for each line item in a sales order. And so we want to make sure that we have a shipment that's created. And so if we run this for each line item on a sales order, all those line items go onto the same shipment. Cool. So let's get started here. So this is the amount we want to ship based off of the sales order line item built products. You can also do it based off of the quantity, but we're going to do it off the built products just to be safe. Then we want to check to see if a shipment is already created for the sales order line item. So this will tell us if there's an existing shipment, and so then we want to update the amount we want to ship. If the existing shipments does not equal 0, then we want to loop through them all. So we're going to loop through them all and then double check to make sure we're only doing this for this sales order line item. And then we're going to remove the quantity shipped from the amount to ship. And then at the end of that, this is how much we actually want to ship. Okay, so then we want to search for draft shipments for this sales order. In order to do that, we are going to need the sales order ID. Here's the sales order, and we're saying, let's look for all shipments where the sales order is equal to the sales order, and the status equals draft. So if we find one, we want to add this line item to that shipment. So much like previous videos, we create a line item, or we create a collection, then we make a variable for that line item, we assemble that line item, we insert it into the collection, and then we insert it into the line items for that object. And then down here, we want to say if it's not found, we want to create a draft sales order, or create a shipment as a draft. There we go. So in this case, we're creating a new sales order, or we're creating a new shipment for the sales order. And then we want to update the sales order and line item with the shipment ID. And there we go. So now here we've updated the sales order line item with the shipment ID. So if it's empty, we're just going to say, hey, this is the shipment. And if it's not empty, we're adding it to the shipment list. So now if I run a test on this one here, I've got my shipment ID. It's ready to ship. The number of items shipped is blank, but actually let's go ahead and update that here. There we go. So we're now going to update this number of items shipped. I'm also going to update this from ready to ship to shipped. There we go. So this number of items shipped should be 1. This will be shipped, and then there will be a shipment record for this. So let's go ahead and run a quick test to see if it works. No errors. Refresh. That's a good sign. Let's check my sales order line items. It says it's shipped. If I middle click, we've shipped 1. Here's the shipments. Status is shipped. So this function now works. I'm going to close this out, and we're going to put this function in a place that's going to be usable. So where do we want this function to exist? Well, we want it to exist here on the line items that are ready to ship, as well as here on the sales orders that are ready to ship. So we're going to start with a button here. I'm going to click Edit this application. And we're going to have a for multiple records. And we're going to run a function, which is the ship line item, which is this function right here. And the argument is the ID. So let me click Save, click Done, and Done. So now when I'm here, I can select any number of items and click Create a Shipment. And that's going to create the shipment for that product, or for those line items, right? This is the one that we did before. So the next thing we want to do is have a button for an individual sales order. So we're going to go to Actions, and for a single record, actually we're going to click Add a New Button. And we're going to create a new workflow. That workflow is going to have a function. In this case, we're going to want to write our own function. And there we go. Let's click Create. And I'm going to put this right up at the top here. So now when I refresh this page, we've got this nice button here to ship a sales order. Now, let me actually see what's in this. Yeah, I could ship this one. So I can click Ship Sales Order. If I go to all shipments, I can see it's right here. There we go. Quantity shipped is 1. If I go to the sales order line item report, we can see that that's this one right here. It's been shipped. You're going to want to piggyback this on a function that was created earlier in the series. I think it was video 6. There's a link up here in the top right. That video is going to show you how to push the shipment from a shipment record in Creator into inventory. And this is just to make sure that your inventory levels match up in both systems, but also allows you to track tracking number and blah, 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 blah. In the next video, we're going to calculate the expected assembly date for a particular work order. And we're going to have this generates a delivery estimated timeline for all the sales orders once they come in, or any new sales order that comes in. It will estimate which day do we expect to be able to ship it out once it was created. I hope you found this video helpful. I will see you in the next video.